disaster. Today we have to go through this. If you are pleased, you kindly allow them not to introduce the bill. This is my view.
Shri Abdul Wahab.
Thank you very much. Regarding this uniform civil code, sort of provocation, deliberately a uniform civil code, it cannot be implemented in India. With whatever majority, with whatever force, this is not going to be happening. This simple civil code, not the criminal code. If they are not what you call tolerable for that one, everywhere the intolerance is there. But at least let us do our civil service, civil law as our own. There is no point, and it is not big thing also. Uniform civil code, there is only few areas they took. Otherwise, everybody is agreeing. I am very sorry about our Congress friends are not there in the bench. That is my first reaction.
Congress in Kerala.
So we are against you. That's Vekoji. We are against Marxists. That is the only problem. That's no problem. So
Congress there, sir.
Instead of telling so many things, I appeal. Our friend last time also came. It was maybe Rajesh Sinha or some Sinha. But every time, no, Rajesh Sinha was there about the children, about birth control and all. Anyway, I request our honorable member to take back that one. When it is ripe, when the government feels, let them take. Please don't make another intolerance in the community now. Anyway, you are going to pass this one because especially, see, we few people here. But it is not for the benefit of India. It is not for the benefit of our nation. That is why I request, earnestly request my friend to take back this bill. Thank you.
Shri Ilamaram Karim.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you, sir. We have given the notice prior to introducing that the bill. Sir, we thought that before allowing to introduce that bill, you will dispose our request. Anyhow, you first call him and he introduced. Earlier occasions.
Motion for leave.
Earlier occasions, he was withdrawing. He was kept absence in the house and it was not introduced in this house. See, our country is a secular country. Our constitution giving protection to all sections of these people. Uniform civil code is a controversial subject. There are so many other principles. Why you are not implementing that principles?
Please,
The wealth should not be allowed to accumulate in
No
a few
crossroads.
hands. That is the constitutional principle. You know.
Keep contact.
Why you are not insisting on that?
Yes, honorable member, address the chair.
Decent wages should be given to the workers. Why you are not implementing that? Only you are very particular on this issue. That is your agenda. We are not about that. Sir, before bringing such a registration, we should have wide consultation with different communities, with religions, with sections of the people. Otherwise, it will make difference between the people. It will burn the country. So I earnestly request, sir, ask him to withdraw the bill from this house.
Vikas Ranjan Bhattacharya.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. My honest appeal would be to the member who has introduced the bill to reconsider whether he wants the unity of the country or he wants to expedite the diversity to be destroyed. Unity in diversity is the philosophy in India which India was built up through centuries. Now I just request the member to consider the Constitution Assembly debate In that those debate, all things were discussed. Ultimately, we have given a call, we the people of India. That is the final call for unity. Not go for making division and division. Country is now facing a crisis. Let us restore the unity. Let us restore the civility so that the country may smoothly progress as the Honorable Prime Minister, according to, desires to. The division amongst the people would not help you either to grow economically or socially. Therefore, my honest appeal to the member, please wait. Wait, let the society get matured, let the society discuss among themselves, let the people feel they are one in one. By imposing your forceful things, you are going to destroy the structure. Therefore, please do not destroy the structure of the country and withdraw this. This is my honest appeal.
Dr. V. Shivdasan.
Respected Chair, here, I think these kind of bills, the main aim of this type of bills is to ruin the strength, ruin the unity of the nation. India, the basic principle of our nation is unity in diversity. So we should protect the unity in diversity. So my humble request to the member to withdraw the proposed bill. This is my request. So India is not built by the bricks and stones. India is built by the spirit of the fighters of freedom movement.
Dr. John Britas.
Sir, it's with a heavy heart I am objecting under Rule 67, the introduction of this bill. Sir, the Treasury benches always harp on the fact that Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. But whatever they do is against the spirit of the slogan which they try to raise always. Sir, why the Law Commission, 21st Law Commission, concluded in its report, I am quoting, sir, a uniform civil code is neither necessary nor desirable. That was the sum and substance of the recommendation of the 21st Law Commission, and I think the Law Minister should be aware of that. If he gets some time, if he takes his hand away from attacking the Supreme Court, he should be having some thought about it. Sir, why this piece of legislation against the spirit of the Constitution? That is the point which the honourable member and the Treasury benches have to think about it, sir. Sir, now there is a strange situation that has happened. In the name of Uniform Civil Code, there are numerous civil codes that have come up in different states. There is a civil code for Himachal Pradesh, civil code for Gujarat, civil code for all the BJP ruled state. So essentially it beats their decision to have a uniform civil code. So this is supposed to be an uncivil code. It's not a civil code. And sir, let us be very clear about the fact that we should not use a piece of legislation to create polarization in the society and also something which is detrimental for the unity of this nation. I strongly object and also implead and request the member, please withdraw this bill immediately. Thank you very much.
Shri A. Rahim.
This is mere political exercise of Sangha Parivar. Already so many of my colleagues stated over the issue. Sir, India is a land of pluralism. Pluralism is the soul and heart of our constitution and our country. Sir, this is very highly controversial issue. The RSS people, the Sangha Parivar, most often they has been using this issue as a political tool, mere political tool. Sir, my humble request is that this house, so many times you mentioned here regarding the credibility and integrity of this house. Sir, I would like to underline your own word regarding the integrity of this house. Sir, we should keep our integrity in this house, and we should not take a political card in this house. Sir, once again, I would like to remember this honor, this house, and all of us, our members. India is a land of pluralism. India is the largest country of the world, largest democratic country, largest secularist country, and also we have to pay and we have to memorize our freedom fighters. This is the land of Bhagat Singh. This is the land of Udham Singh, Shahid Udham Singh, who is popularly known as Ram Muhammad Singh Azad. Proudly I can say I am here from Kerala, I am coming from Kerala, who is the land of Ayyanna hero Wakam Abdul Qadir. So I would like to, again and again, I would like to pray before Honorable Chair, you please insist him to withdraw the bill, and I am strongly condemned on this.
Professor Ram Gopal Yadav.
धन्यवाद श्रीमान। मेरा पहला ऐतराज तो ये है कि ये जो बिल जिस पर हम लोग ऐतराज कर रहे हैं, ये बेसिकली संविधान और 29(1) 26(b) में ये है, ये फंडामेंटल राइट्स में है सर। 26(b) में है, सब्जेक्ट टू पब्लिक ऑर्डर, morality and health, every right to manage its own affairs in matters of religion. आर्टिकल 29(1) में कहते हैं कल्चरल एंड एजुकेशन राइट्स में any section of the citizens residing in the territory of India or any part thereof having a distinct language, script or culture of its own shall have the right to conserve the same. मेरा इन्हीं 2 आर्टिकल्स को लेके और कुछ अन्य बातों को लेके गंभीर इस पर ऐतराज है। संविधान के आपने शुरू में सर कहा था कि अगर संविधान के अनुकूल कोई बात है तो उसको रखने से, इंट्रोड्यूस करने से कोई रोक नहीं सकता है, लेकिन संविधान के अगर प्रतिकूल है तब तो उसे रोका ही जा सकता। आपको इसे अलाउ भी नहीं करना चाहिए थे और इनको विड्रॉ कर लेना चाहिए। सर, संविधान सभा में हिंदुस्तान के उस वक्त की इंटेलेक्चुअल क्रीम थी, डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर से लेके श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी तक बहुत काबिल, बहुत विद्वान लोग थे। अगर हम लोग उनसे ज़्यादा काबिल समझते हैं तो ईश्वर रक्षा करे। उन्होंने इसीलिए इन सब बातों को बचाने के लिए कि जो माइनॉरिटी में हैं लोग, उनके कहीं सामाजिक, सांस्कृतिक और अन्य अधिकारों पर को बुलडोज न किया जा सके, संविधान के मौलिक अधिकारों में इसकी व्यवस्था की थी। हम जानते हैं, देखिए, मुस्लिम्स में चचेरी बहन से शादी करना सबसे अच्छा माना जाता है। क्या हिंदुओं में ऐसा संभव है? आप समान संहिता की बात करते हैं तो इधर से लागू करोगे या उधर से लागू करोगे? इसलिए ये अनावश्यक बातें, अब देश में शांति बनाए रखो। 15-15 लाख रुपया लोगों की जेबों तक पहुंचाने का काम करो। ये काम ये वापस कर लो मीना साहब। ये 75 साल के बाद आपको कोई पूछेगा नहीं। और ये सब दिक्कत ये है कि सब 75 साल जो, अरे आप राष्ट्रपति के लिए, उपराष्ट्रपति के लिए तो नहीं। इसलिए मेरा अनुरोध है कि जनहित में संविधान को देखते हुए भी, लोगों की मंशा को देखते हुए, देश में कहीं किसी तरह से अविश्वास न किसी के प्रति हो, सत्ता में बैठे हुए लोगों के प्रति कोई अविश्वास न हो, इस बिल को वापस लेने का मैं अनुरोध मीना साहब से करता हूं आपके माध्यम से।
श्री संतोष कुमार।
I would like to request the to withdraw this very dangerous bill through you, sir. And my party has a principled stand on this issue of uniform civil codes. We believe in the unity of this country and not in the uniformity. So what we need is unity, not uniformity. We are a country with hundreds of religions, castes, and we have different types of civil codes also. So we need to think about this issue seriously, and this is not time to initiate such a legal proceeding. This will further endanger the secular credentials of this country. These people have already divided Indian villages, created a feeling of India-Pak in almost all villages of this country. They want to enhance that division further. So please don't allow them to introduce this dangerous bill which is detrimental to the national interests.
Shri Tiruchi Shiva.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. We are also equally organized. Sir, the same bill has been listed many a time before, and on request he has not introduced. Today also we did the same, but we had a bitter experience of breach of trust that I don't want to go into that. Sir, as everyone pointed out here, this country's base is secularism and federalism. Both are at stake now. Sir, we foresee something what may happen if this bill is passed here, maybe a private member bill, because I know that because when my private member bill was passed, what were the consequences? Sir, if the bill is introduced, it becomes the property of the House. Automatically, it will be taken up for consideration. When it is taken up for consideration and debated, sir, it will be put to vote, sir, and they are having majority, and automatically it will get passed. Sir, I just again foresee what would be the mindset of the minorities in the country. Sir, we should not at any cost create an apprehension in their minds. Sir, you know very well, sir, you are well-educated and well-informed, sir. When the country partition, at the time of partition, Muhammad Ali Jinnah said, Muslims all come with me to the Pakistan. But Muslims here said, we are Muslims, but India is our nation. They all stayed there. They have contributed to the military. They have contributed to the development of the country. They have got their own religious code, and other minorities also. Sir, we should not at any cost create a panic in their mind. Sir, that's what I said, it's a Pandora's box. Sir, we are really organized, and we see we are all trembling, and it's unusual of our mentality because, sir, the whole country will be watching this. So I think because of having the majority, one cannot do whatever they want. Consider the future of this country, the safety of everyone, and the individual uniqueness of India should be maintained. Sir, I request the member not to introduce the bill, and you, sir, kindly protect the House, the members, and the nation's future. Thank you very much.
Shri Jayant Chaudhary.
Sir, I move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Constitution of India. Sir, it is the Constitution bill to amend the Articles 84 and 173.
No. Are you saying anything on this?
No. Sir, I'm just introducing the bill. If I have the opportunity, I'd like to mention what the bill is about.
No. Only introduction.
Introduction, sir.
On this. L. Hanumanthaya.
Here, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. Sir, in a democracy like India, where 140 crore people are involved, many a times there will be a brutal majority in the parliaments and assemblies.
Brute becomes brutal.
No, it is called brutal majority. Any majority, exactly. I agree with that. Is with reference to that, I am telling. I am not afraid of telling it.
Please address the chair.
I am not. Yes, sir. So, I wanted to inform honorable member to speak whenever he get a chance.
It is not expected
now.
of a member.
He cannot speak now. You can speak whenever
No,
you
no.
get a chance.
Mr.
I
Javadekar,
have been asking
it
the
was
chairman to
inappropriate.
speak.
One second. It was inappropriate, not expected, and it is not approved.
Thank you, Chairman.
We must all maintain decorum. We are not here to create chaos. Let me remind you, the Constituent Assembly was of people of great worth, talent, and at that point, they were as representative as possible. Presently, as I have indicated in my speech also, with each election, our representation is getting deeper and deeper. This House has enormous talent. If the Constituent Assembly could traverse critical issues, complex issues, divisive issues, without there being single disruption, if it could traverse and negotiate and navigate by dialogue, debate and discussion, as a senior member, I am sure this should not happen. I appeal to everyone to observe discipline and give full expression. Okay.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. Sir, as I said just now, in a democracy, any brutal majority will be a dangerous thing. And it is dangerous to the sensible democracy of any country. We have seen across the world, sir, an extreme leftist, extreme rightist will be sometime becomes dangerous to the democracy. So I feel we should not enter into such extremities in a healthy democracy like India. Sir, our Nobel laureate Ravindranath Tagore has always pleaded in all his literature that this country should be a pluralist country. It should not go to extremities. We cannot digest the extremities we have experienced. And sir, I wanted to bring it to your kind notice that any country across the world which has gone to the extreme decisions have suffered and their democracy was not retained. So we should not go to that extent and see that our democracy is derailed. Sir, a poet called Kuvempu in Kannada, in Karnataka, he is almost equivalent to Nobel laureate. He says, this country should be Sarva Janangada Shantiya Tota. It should be a garden of all the flowers, all the varieties. That is the real beauty of a society. That is India. That is what he said. We should retain that fabric forever. Then only this country will go for long years. We have only a small democracy of 75 years. 75 years is not a big number. It is not very long way. We have yet to cross the long way for a democracy to experience and experiment. In this situation, I don't expect this kind of extremities should come and spoil the democratic fabric of this country. I sincerely request honorable member to please withdraw and keep way for all the healthy minds to go on like this and go on forever. Thank you very much, sir.
Shri Jawahar Sarkar.
Sir, thank you very much for this opportunity. I rise in anguish to see how a bill, a private member's bill, that is totally unconstitutional, unethical, anti-secular, is being introduced as a private member's bill by an indulgent government to test the waters in a very dangerous game. In a very dangerous game. This is brinkmanship. This is brinkmanship, sir. All I say, there is still time to refrain from making demonstrations of a temporary majority and inflict a one-sided opinion on a very secular and plural India. I beseech upon the member, I seek your guidance, I beseech upon the member to take better sense and withdraw the bill. And to you, sir, to use your kind power, your wisdom, not to allow such games to be played. Thank you, sir.
Shrimati J.B. Mathur Isam.
Thank you, sir. Sir, as a beginner, I want to actually through you ask the House itself whether a private bill shouldn't the private bill be in the larger public interest? But if this is a type of a private bill, I am sorry to say that there is no public interest. This is totally against the constitutional values enshrined in our constitution, and if it is even tested the judiciary, this will definitely be struck down because it is unconstitutional and against the basic structure doctrine of as India. Sir, in our country we believe in unity in diversity. If we are believing in unity in diversity, we can never have uniformity in diversity because uniformity and diversity are self-contradictory. Sir, I want to quote Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Democracy means tolerance, not only towards those who agree, but also towards disagree. There are immense examples happening in the country across India in terms of speeches, in terms of words, in terms of actions, where democracy is being derailed, where the minority voices are being submerged. But sir, that's not how it should be. That's not how it was not meant to be foreseen by our forefathers, Dr. Ambedkar and all other great leaders who have had their vision for our country. So once again, I want to quote Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, without peace, all other dreams are reduced to ashes. Sir, through you, I want to tell the House that if this is the kind of law that is to be brought in, then there will not be any peace in the country. So I request through you, let this bill be withdrawn.
Honorable Chairman, sir, I am pained to hear some of the comments which are being made using the very, very illustrious names of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, including leaders of the Congress party, the constitution makers, members of the Constituent Assembly, who in their wisdom brought this in as a directive principle. My colleague Shri Prakash Javadekar ji has referred to the constitutional provisions in this regard. I think it's the legitimate right of a member to raise an issue which is a directive principle of the Constitution. Let this subject be debated in the House. Let this subject be debated. I did not disturb you.
Mr. Vaiko, please, Honorable Leader of the House, don't have crosstalk. Through me. Please, Vaiko, please.
Honorable Chairman, sir.
Please sit down.
All of these issues.
Please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down.
Honorable Chairman.
Please sit down.
Honorable Chairman, sir.
Please. Observe order. Please take your seat. Go ahead.
Honorable Chairman, sir.
Please. Nothing will go on record. I plead with you. Have a reflecting mind. Take your seat. You had your say, uninterrupted. And if you want to have further say, take recourse to rules. Platform is open. But take your seat. This frequent interruption does not justice to your personality. It sends a very bad signal. Can we go to that level? We have that kind of obstinate approach. You have as much right as anyone else has. Everyone has a right. Honorable Minister.
Honorable Chairman, sir. My colleague Shri Prakash Javadekar will elaborate on the constitutional provisions, but very clearly at this stage to cast aspersions on the government.
Please be brief.
To cast aspersions on the government, to use the names of the very members of the Constituent Assembly to try and criticize this bill at the introduction stage is uncalled for. I would appeal to the House that we let this be introduced. It's the members' right. And when the debate comes up on this subject, of course, everybody has a right to give their point of view. And at that time, it is the property of the House to decide what they have to do.
Shri Manoj Kumar Jha.
Shri Manoj Kumar Jha. Thank you, Honorable Chairman, sir. Thank you very much. This bill came for introduction or on very many occasions earlier. Good sense prevailed. My friends from the BJP requested Kirodilal Meena ji not to proceed further. I'm witness to 6 such occasions. What has changed, I don't know, sir. But a leader of the House is not here. I have read that part of making of Indian Constitution where uniform civil code was discussed. Sir, partition had happened. The members were very, very certain that we should not go for a legislation which further creates barriers between people and communities. Sir, अभी G20 में हम एक पृथ्वी, एक परिवार, एक भविष्य की बात कर रहे हैं. लेकिन सर मैं पेन के लिए नहीं देने के लिए खड़ा हुआ हूं. मैं माननीय सभापति महोदय जी के मैं ये कह रहा हूं सर कि उसके लिए आवश्यक है कि दुनिया को की दीवारें गिराने के लिए अपने घर की दीवारों को भी गिराना होगा. दीवारें बढ़ी हैं, कोई माने या ना माने. लोगों के बीच में अविश्वास बढ़ा है. गांव बट गए हैं, शहर बट गए. छोड़िए, मेरा और आपका परिवार बट गया. अगर इस तरह के बंटवारे के बीच में अगर इस तरह का हम बिल लाएंगे, मैं आग्रह करूंगा किरोड़ीलाल जी, आपका अपना कद भी बहुत बड़ा है, इसको कृपया पूर्वक वापस ले लीजिए. ये देश हित में नहीं है, ये हमारे सरोकारों के हित में नहीं है. ये हमको एक अंधी खाई में ले जाएगा जहां रोशनी का सुराग नहीं होगा. थैंक यू सर.
डॉक्टर फौजिया खान.
Thank you very much, Chairman, sir. Here I would like to say that the beauty of our Indian democracy and the uniqueness of India in the whole world lies in its unity in diversity. Our diversity is extremely important and it has to be retained. It cannot be ravaged like this, sir. Sir, just like a rainbow in the sky where many colors are there and it gives beauty to the sky, in the same way our diversity gives beauty to our democracy, sir. And the way this bill has been trying to be introduced in the House, sir, I would only plead through you to the member, kindly withdraw this bill because, sir, it is not in consonance with the uniqueness of our democracy, which it is just not a Muslim-Hindu issue. It's a question of diversities in every way. It doesn't deal with Muslims or anybody. I absolutely deny that it relates to this particular kind of community. It deals with the diversity of our country, which has got millions of different cultures, traditions. So it has to be maintained this way, sir. I request through you, kindly withdraw the bill, honorable member. Thank you.
इमरान प्रतापगढ़ी.
आदरणीय सभापति महोदय, मैं इस उच्च सदन में खड़ा होकर के आपसे ये अनुरोध करूंगा कि देश में जिस तरह का माहौल बनाया गया है, बना हुआ है, ऐसे वक्त में इस तरह का एक और बिल ला करके उस खाई को और बढ़ाने की कोशिश करना, ये कहीं से भी न तो प्रासंगिक है और ना तो जरूरी है. 2018 में लॉ कमीशन की रिपोर्ट है जिसमें जस्टिस बीएस चौहान साहब का सीधे सीधे कहना है कि इस तरह के किसी कानून की न कोई आवश्यकता है अभी, न कोई जरूरत है. ऐसे में मैं यहां खड़ा होकर के आपके माध्यम से यह कहना चाह रहा हूं कि इस सदन की जो जिम्मेदारी है, इस सदन में बैठा हुआ हर एक सदस्य, किसी भी पार्टी का हो, सत्ता पक्ष का हो, विपक्ष का हो, वो देश के लिए एक नए विचार प्रस्तुत करे, नई बात लाए, नया माहौल बनाने की कोशिश करे, ना कि ऐसी चीजें इंट्रोड्यूस करे जिससे समुदायों में, धर्मों में आपस में कहीं ना कहीं दुराव पैदा हो. तो मैं आपसे अनुरोध करूंगा कि इस बिल की कोई प्रासंगिकता नहीं है. कृपया इस बिल को आप खुद एक्सेप्ट ना करें और सदस्य महोदय से भी अनुरोध है कि इस तरह का कोई बिल ला करके उस पे बहस की जरूरत मुझे नहीं लगता कि इस सदन में है. तो मेरी आपसे गुजारिश है कि इस बिल को किसी भी तरह से एक्सेप्ट ना किया जाए.
Honorable members, we did have some tempers. I am happy that my thought process, which emanates from your wisdom, could find some reflection. everyone has had say, and that is the beauty and essence of structured debate. And we learn this from Constituent Assembly, that it is the structured debate through discussion and dialogue that in a serious theater like this upper house, we give message to the entire country. The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Those against, but those against, 1 second. One second. Mr. Vaiko, you are such a senior distinguished person. Very few people can have that kind of credential. You have traversed decades. When I was about to give floor to you, you did not allow me to give the floor. And we took 5 minutes. When I was about to seek your response, you didn't give me that opportunity. I will go by procedure. Trust me. If at all I have to lean, I will lean constitutionally towards this side. And therefore, why be in agitated mode? We have to mentally, persuasively, strongly give voice to our thought process. I have simply said, please, those in favor will please say aye. They have given. Now I say those against will please say no. No. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The bill is introduced. Honorable member, you have every right to seek division. We'll take steps. Lobbies be cleared. इसको अंडरलाइन करो. honorable members, please observe decorum. As they say, no cross-talk. I give you the indulgence. Cross-talk only through the chair. Am I right, Professor? But take your seat. Time 3.5 minutes. He doesn't know the process. Okay. Okay. Secretary General will now explain the voting procedure.
Honorable members, as you are aware that special seating arrangements were made during the pandemic days, and now after resumption of normal seating arrangements, specific seats, division numbers could still not be assigned to all the members. Therefore, it is not possible to conduct voting through the automatic vote recording system. Voting will therefore be done through the division slips. Members are requested to legibly write their names, date, and in place of the division number, their identity card number on the division slips, if they remember. The division slips will be distributed to the honorable members by the division clerks.
The question is, I shall now put the motion that leave be granted to introduce the bill to vote. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. Honorable members, division. Secretary General.
Honorable members, division clerks will now distribute the division slips. Members may record their option on the division slips and ensure that they have put their signature and written their names and IC numbers legibly before handing over the slips to the division clerks.
स्लिप तो देनी चाहिए. उसका नाम क्या है? इसके बाद तो नहीं मेरे को बताओ सेकेंड। हाँ ये दो ना 37 ये भी इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं क्या? फिर इसके बाद क्या होता है? The bill is introduced. Honorable members, result of the division. On the motion for introduction of the bill, the Uniform Civil Code in India Bill 2020, ayes 63, noes 23, abstain nil. The motion is adopted. Shri Kirodi Lal Meena ji, please introduce the bill.
Please introduce the bill.
I introduce the bill.
Let the lobbies be opened. The Waqf Repeal Bill 2022, Shri Harnath Singh Yadav. Next. The Representation of the People Amendment Bill 2022, Shri Irana Kadadi. Absent. Not introducing. Irana Kadadi ji, then say so.
आज नहीं करते सर.
Not moving it.
Not
moving it.
ये हो गया ना? ये करना है. Sri Irana Karadi to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022.
नहीं करे सर.
Not moving.
आज नहीं करे सर.
Thank you. The Antarashtriya Kannada Vishwavidyalaya Bill 2022, Sri Irana Karadi to move for leave to introduce the Antarashtriya Kannada Vishwavidyalaya Bill 2022.
हाँ, एक कर दीजिए सर.
The question is that we have moved the.
हाँ, move sir.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Sri Irana Karadi, please read. I introduce the bill.
Yes, sir. I introduce the bill, sir.
Thank you. The Hate Crimes and Hate Speech Combat Prevention and Punishment Bill 2022. Professor Manoj Kumar Jha to move for leave to introduce the Hate Crimes and Hate Speech Combat Prevention and Punishment Bill 2022.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir. With your kind permission, I seek to move for leave to introduce a bill to empower the state governments and the central government to take measures to provide for the prevention and control of hate crimes and hate speech in terms of the Constitution and international human rights instruments concerning religion, race, caste, or community, sex, gender, identity, sexual orientation, places of birth, residence, language, disability, or tribe and related intolerance in accordance with constitutional and international law obligations defined for the offense of hate crime and the offense of hate speech and the punishment of persons who commit those offenses and rehabilitation of victims of those offenses to provide for the reporting on the implementation, application and administration of this act and to provide for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Professor Manoj Kumar Jha.
With your permission, I introduce the bill.
बाद में पहले इंट्रोड्यूस कर लेने दीजिए, आपको मैं मौका देता हूं, प्लीज. The Parliament Productivity Enhancement Bill 2022, Professor Manoj Kumar Jha to move for leave to introduce the Parliament Productivity Enhancement Bill 2022.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir. With your permission, I seek to move for leave to introduce a bill to provide for framework for enhancing the performance of the Parliament by fixing minimum number of sittings for each House of the Parliament, extending the hours of a sitting, introduction of a short session of Parliament, in addition to the existing practice of 3 sessions, institution of a mechanism to separately discuss opposition business, compensation for the hours unutilized due to disruption, and for matters connected therewith and incidental thereto. Thank you, sir.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Professor Manoj Kumar Jha.
I introduce the bill with your permission, sir.
The Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, Amendment of Articles 16, 124 and 216. Professor Manoj Kumar Jha to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir. With your permission, I seek to move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Constitution of India with amendment of Article 16, 124 and 216. Thank you, sir.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Professor Manoj Kumar Jha.
Thank you, sir. I introduce the bill.
Thank you. The Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, Amendment of Articles 102, 155, 156, etc. Sri P. Wilson to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. I seek leave to move to introduce a bill to amend Article 102, 155, 156, 157, 191 of Constitution of India by fixing qualification, disqualification for appointment of the Governor and also with the concurrence of Chief Minister of a state. The Governor sit over the bills and block with the will of the people. They run a parallel government. Hence, I am moving this bill.
Governors get promoted, you're saying you're moving the bill.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it.
Sir, with your permission, I move the bill, sir.
So the bill...
With your permission, I move the bill, sir.
You introduce the bill?
With your permission, I introduce the bill, sir. Thank you.
The Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, Amendment of Articles 124 and 220, Dr. V. Sivadasan to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022. Please move.
Respected Chair, here I move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Constitution of India, Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, Amendment of Article 124 and 2020.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Dr. V. Sivadasan.
Sir, with your kind permission, I also introduce the bill.
Thank you. The Prevention of Money Laundering Amendment Bill 2022. Please, ma'am.
जा रहे हैं उनके बारे में ही था मेरा
ये बिल इंट्रोड्यूस कर लेने दे फिर मैं आपको मौका देता हूं तो मैं आपको मौका देता हूं घनश्याम तिवारी जी ये इंट्रोड्यूस कर ले The Prevention of Money Laundering Amendment Bill 2022, Dr. V. Sivadasan to move for leave to introduce the Prevention of Money Laundering Amendment Bill 2022.
Respected Chair, to move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2022, the Prevention of Money Laundering Amendment Bill 2022. Thank you, sir.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Dr. V. Sivadasan.
With your kind permission, I also introduce the bill.
The Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, insertion of new articles 21B. Dr. V. Sivadasan to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022.
Respected Chair, I to move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Constitution of India, the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Dr. V. Sivadasan.
Permission, I also introduce the bill.
The Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, Amendment of Article 16, Sri Javed Ali Khan to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022.
माननीय उपसभापति जी, मैं अन्य पिछड़े वर्गों को उनकी आबादी के अनुपात में सरकारी नौकरियों में आरक्षण दिए जाने के उद्देश्य से भारत के संविधान की धारा अनुच्छेद 16 में और संशोधन किए जाने के लिए विधेयक को पुरस्कृत करने की अनुमति चाहता हूं।
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Shri Javed Ali Khan.
आपकी अनुमति से मैं विधेयक को प्रस्थापित करता हूं।
The Prevention of Insult to the Father of the Nation and Other Icons of Freedom Movement Bill 2022. Shri Javed Ali Khan to move for leave to introduce the Prevention of Insult to the Father of the Nation and Other Icons of Freedom Movement Bill 2022.
माननीय उपसभापति जी, मैं राष्ट्रपिता और स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन के अन्य प्रतीकों के प्रति अपमान अथवा राष्ट्रपिता के हत्यारों के प्रति सम्मान प्रदर्शित किए जाने का निवारण करने के लिए विधेयक को पुरस्कृत करने की अनुमति चाहता हूं।
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Shri Javed Ali Khan.
आपकी अनुमति से मैं विधेयक को पुरस्कृत करता हूं।
The Official Languages Bill 2022, Shri Trichu Siva to move for leave to introduce the Official Language Bill 2022.
Sir, I move for leave to introduce a bill to provide that all regional languages shall be used for all official purposes of the Union and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Shri Trichu Siva.
Sir, I introduce the bill. Thank you.
The Right to Digital Literacy Bill 2022, Shri Derek O'Brien to move for leave to introduce the Right to Digital Literacy Bill 2022.
Thank you, sir. I move for leave to introduce the Right to Digital Literacy Bill 2022. This calls for the adoption of a digital literacy curriculum in all educational institutions across the country. So we produce responsible and young citizens who can safely participate in the digital system. So whether it's digital hygiene, misinformation, online financial fraud, sextortion, all this, to keep these young people educated, safe and happy.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Shri Derek O'Brien.
Sir, I introduce the bill.
The Indian Penal Code Amendment Bill 2022, Shri Derek O'Brien to move for leave to introduce the Indian Penal Code Amendment Bill 2022.
Thank you, sir. And good to see you in the chair. Last 3-4 days we are not seeing you because you're not having to. But we want to see you. We want to see you a little more, sir. You know, we want to see you more. But now you're having less work to do. Less work but full pace. So it's good, sir. Okay, sir, sorry. Just light. Sir, this bill I'm introducing seeks to criminalize marital rape. The bill reflects the realities of sexual abuse today, women against women, sir, and it removes the exception of marital rape from the definition of rape, because the exception of marital rape is actually antithetical to right to life, right to personal liberty as per Article 21 of our Constitution. So this bill seeks to ensure women, every woman, a dignified life, safe living conditions, and a woman's own rights to her reproductive choices and privacy. That's it, sir.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Shri Derek O'Brien.
Sir, I introduce the bill.
The Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill 2022. Shri Derek O'Brien to move for leave to introduce the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill 2022.
Sir, I move for leave to introduce the Right to Children Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill 2022 that makes it compulsory for government schools to comply with physical infrastructure and those prescribed in the Principal Act, and also introduce learning outcomes. So the key is we must introduce learning outcomes so we can actually ensure quality education. That's the theme of this bill, sir.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Sir Derek O'Brien.
Sir, I introduce the bill.
The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Amendment Bill 2022. Dr. John Brittas to move for leave to introduce the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Amendment Bill 2022.
So thank you, sir. I move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme to ensure increase of number of days and also revision of the wages.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Dr. John Brittas.
Sir, I introduce the bill.
Thank you. The Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2022, Dr. John Brittas to move for leave to introduce the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2022.
Sir, I move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Motor Vehicles Act 1988 to ensure reasonable time to file claims.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. प्लीज आवाज दें आप कम से कम इस पे आप आई और नो का The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Dr. John Brittas.
Sir, I introduce the bill.
The Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, Amendment of Article 324, Dr. John Brittas to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022.
Sir, I move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Constitution of India that is to ensure transparency, neutrality and fairness in the appointment of the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners, and for safeguarding the autonomy and independence of the Election Commission, and for protection of conditions of services of the Election Commissioners, and for setting up an independent permanent secretariat staff for the Election Commission.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Dr. John Brittas.
Sir, I introduce the bill.
The Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, Amendment of 8th Schedule. Sri Santosh Kumar P. to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022.
Sir, I move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Constitution of India to include Tulu in the 8th Schedule of the Constitution.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Sri Santosh Kumar P.
Thank you, sir. I introduce the bill.
Thank you. The National Commission for Controlling Medical Inflation Bill 2022, Sri Santosh Kumar P. to move for leave to introduce the National Commission for Controlling Medical Inflation Bill 2022.
Sir, I move for leave to introduce a bill to provide for the establishment of a National Commission for Controlling Medical Inflation in order to monitor, regulate and standardize the rising costs of medicines, medical diagnostic tests and pathological examinations, and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. The National Commission for Controlling Medical Inflation Bill 2022, sir.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Sri Santosh Kumar P.
I introduce the bill. Thank you, sir.
The Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, Amendment of Articles 124, 127, 128, 222, etc. Substitution of articles 124A, 124B and 124C. Shri Vikas Ranjan Bhattacharya to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022.
Sir, I seek your kind leave to move a bill for further amendment of the Constitution relating to the appointment of the judges of the High Court and the Supreme Court.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Shri Vikas Ranjan Bhattacharya to introduce the bill.
Sir, I seek your permission to introduce the bill.
The National Judicial Commission Bill 2022, Shri Vikas Ranjan Bhattacharya to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Judicial Bill 2022.
Sir, I seek your kind leave to move a bill to regulate the procedure for appointment of the judges of the Honorable High Court and Supreme Court by constituting a National Judicial Commission so that the appointments could be made by the Commission.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Shri Vikas Ranjan Bhattacharya.
Sir, I seek your kind leave to introduce the bill.
आप कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं इस बिल पे? हाँ, please.
After introduction allowed.
Introduction you have done. Please.
सर मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि NJAC का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो लगभग 3 बार सुप्रीम कोर्ट के विचाराधीन आया। पहली बार 1993 में, दूसरी बार जब वाजपेयी साहब की गवर्नमेंट थी 1998 में एक एडवाइजरी ली गई, और थर्ड टाइम अभी जब 2016 में NJAC का लैंडमार्क जजमेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने दिया। तीनों बार सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ जुडिशरी को ऊपर करते हुए, उसको तवज्जो देते हुए NJAC का जो फ्रेमवर्क है उसे खारिज कर दिया। इस बिल के माध्यम से मैं इस बिल को अपोज करने के लिए, NJAC जो मेरे ऑनरेबल कॉलीग ने इंट्रोड्यूस किया है उसे अपोज करने के लिए खड़ा हुआ हूँ। सर, वी आर अटेम्प्टिंग टू डू अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल इम्पॉसिबिलिटी। आई थिंक एक जजेस का सिस्टम अपॉइंटमेंट का कोलिजियम सिस्टम बेहतरीन चल रहा है, उसके अंदर कोई स्कोप फॉर इम्प्रूवमेंट हो सकता है, वो जुडिशरी से बात करके संवाद करके किया जा सकता है। लेकिन मेरा बस अनुरोध है, और मैं समाप्त कर रहा हूं सर, मैं अपने ऑनरेबल मेंबर को यह कहना चाहूंगा, हमें ऐसी कोई भी हैंडल केंद्र सरकार को नहीं देना चाहिए जिसमें वो जुडिशियल अकाउंटेबिलिटी में और जजेस की नियुक्ति में घुसें। ये CBI डायरेक्टर, ED डायरेक्टर की जैसे अपॉइंटमेंट होती है, ये जुडिशियल अपॉइंटमेंट्स में भी घुसना चाहते हैं। मैं बस इतना ही कहना चाहता हूं।
राघव जी, you have put your point. No,
सर,
you have put your point. Not going on record now. No, you have already put.
मैं एक बस आखिरी सेंटेंस सर, एग्जिस्टिंग अभी भी
Now
सरकार के पास
the Constitution not going on record. Please, the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022. Amendment of articles not going on record, Mr. Raghav Chadha, not going on record. You know the well-established procedure. The House will debate and decide. The chair cannot. You have already put your point. Please. The Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, amendment of articles 270, 271, 280, and insertion of article 342B. Shri V. Vijay Sai Reddy to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022.
Sir, I move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, which seeks, point number 1, amend the articles 270, 271 and 280 to make the central government's revenue from cess and surcharge shareable with the state governments. And number 2, to insert Article 342B to allow for enumeration of socially and economically backward classes or BCs, and to provide reservation to them in proportion to their population, which will also ensure welfare and upliftment of BCs in the country. Thank you.
Thank you. The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Sri V. Vijay Sai Reddy.
Sir, I introduce the bill.
Thank you. The prevention and provision of witch branding and hunting and other harmful practices Bill 2022. Sri Sujit Kumar to move for leave to introduce the prevention and provision of witch branding and hunting and other harmful practices Bill 2022.
Especially women, from witch branding and witch hunting to eliminate their torture, oppression, humiliation, killing, sexual assault, discrimination, and also, sir, for relief and...
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. The Code of Criminal Procedure Amendment Bill 2022, Sri Sujit Kumar to move for leave to introduce the Code of Criminal
Procedure, CRPC, 1973, to redefine the procedural framework with regards to bail provision and to mitigate the practice of indiscriminate arrest, which defeats the purpose of the concept of bail, not jail, as has been articulated by the Supreme Court in numerous judgments.
I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The Zero Emissions Bill 2022, Sri Sujit Kumar to move for leave to introduce the Net Zero Emissions Bill 2022.
Sir, with your kind permission, I move for leave to introduce a bill to provide a framework for achieving net zero emissions by the year 2070, as per India's nationally determined contributions under the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, and to provide relief for vulnerable persons and communities from drastic climate events in the form
of Articles 84 and 173, Sri Jayant Chaudhary to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022.
Sir, I seek your permission to move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Constitution of India to reduce the age of candidacy for our Legislative Assembly and Legislative Councils to 21 years from 25 years currently.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Sri Jayant Chaudhary.
I introduce the bill.
Thank you. Sarva Dharm Temple Bill 2022, Srimati Santa Chhetri to move for leave to introduce the Sarva Dharm Temple 2022.
Thank you, sir. I move for leave to introduce a bill to provide for erection and management of a temple of all religions under one roof to perpetuate the ideals of the Constitution of India, which establishes India as a secular state, and for the purpose of creating awareness, tolerance towards, and honor, respect, preservation, growth, and spread of spiritual knowledge of all religions, and for the matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. Thank you, sir.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Srimati Santa Chhetri.
Sir, with your kind permission, I introduce the bill.
Thank you. The Ma Mamta Orphans Welfare Scheme Bill 2022, Srimati Santa Chhetri to move for leave to introduce the Ma Mamta Orphans Welfare Scheme Bill 2022.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I move for leave to introduce a bill to provide for social security to orphan children, to ensure proper upbringing of the orphan child, to ensure a bright future for the child, and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. Thank you, sir.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Srimati Santa Chhetri.
Sir, with your kind permission, I introduce the bill.
The Gorkha Sculptures Artists and Artisans of Darjeeling Hill Welfare Bill 2022, Srimati Santa Chhetri to move for leave to introduce the Gorkha Sculptures Artists and Artisans of Darjeeling Bill Welfare Bill 2022. Darjeeling Hills Welfare Bill 2022.
Thank you, sir. I move for leave to introduce a bill to provide for welfare of traditional sculptors, artists and artisans of Darjeeling Hills area belonging to the Gorkha community and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. Thank you, sir.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Srimati Santa Chetri.
Sir, with your kind permission, I introduce the bill. Thank you.
The prevention and eradication of human sacrifice and other superstitions practice bill 2022. Sri Vinay Vishwam to move for leave to introduce the prevention and eradication of human sacrifice and other superstitions practices bill 2022. Not present. The guaranteed delivery of public services and accountability bill 2022. Dr. Fauzia Khan to move for leave to introduce the guaranteed delivery of public services and accountability bill 2022.
Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir, I seek your permission for leave to introduce a bill to guarantee the delivery of services within specified time limits to all citizens, the publication of the Citizens' Charter and other disclosures by all public authorities, the establishment of digital portals and facilitation centers for service delivery, and the processing and monitoring of grievances related thereto, to provide for the establishment of grievance redressal authority, to ensure accountability and prompt remedy for denial of services, and the establishment of a national grievance redressal commission to hear appeals and prescribe social audit standards for all public authorities and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Dr. Fauzia Khan.
Sir, with your permission, I introduce the bill.
Thank you. The Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, amendment of 8th schedule. Sri Rajiv Shukla to move for leave to introduce the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022. Sri Rajiv Shukla, present. जिस बिल पर बहस हो रही थी उस बहस को आगे बढ़ाने के पहले माननीय घनश्याम तिवारी जी ने कुछ सवाल उठाया था। किस रूल के तहत आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं?
मैं माननीय सभापति महोदय, आप तो सब परंपराओं के ज्ञाता हैं।
नहीं, किस रूल के तहत क्या कहना?
इंट्रोडक्शन की स्टेज पर जो आज विरोध हुआ उसके बारे में मैं कुछ बातें जो लोकसभा के
उसी वक्त आप कह सकते थे,
उसी
अब
वक्त
इस बिल के बारे में कुछ कहना हो
मैं उसी वक्त कहना चाहता था, लेकिन मुझे उस वक्त भी कहा कि आप बाद में कहना, इसलिए बाद में मेरी सुन लीजिए
आप बताइए पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर किस
मैंने नहीं तो माननीय सभा बोल रहा हूँ माननीय सभापति महोदय
प्लीज मिस्टर अग्रवाल आप ना कहें, अगर पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर होगा तो उनको बताना पड़ेगा किस रूल के तहत है। मैं उनको कह रहा हूँ
मेरी बात सुनने दीजिए उनको।
प्लीज
माननीय सभापति महोदय, मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि लोकसभा, राज्यसभा और बहुत सी विधानसभा, मैं भी 35 साल से विधानसभा का मेंबर रहा, ये माननीय अध्यक्षों की और सबकी एक वो निर्देश रहे हैं कि इंट्रोडक्शन की स्टेज पर आम तौर पर विरोध नहीं करते हैं। 3 स्टेज होती है बिल की, तीनों स्टेजों में इंट्रोडक्शन की स्टेज पर और फिर पारण की स्टेज पर और विचार की स्टेज पर, विचार की स्टेज पर और पारण की स्टेज पर विरोध करते हैं, लेकिन इंट्रोडक्शन की स्टेज पर विरोध नहीं करते हैं। यह माननीय अध्यक्षों की भी परंपरा रही है। लेकिन आज इंट्रोडक्शन के स्टेज पर डॉक्टर किरोड़लाल जी मीणा ने जो बिल पेश किया उसका इंट्रोडक्शन की स्टेज पर विरोध हुआ। अगर ये परंपरा कायम रही तो प्रतिपक्ष के तो कोई भी सदस्य प्राइवेट मेंबर के रूप में अपना बिल पेश नहीं कर पाएंगे।
वह बिल इंट्रोड्यूस हो चुका है,
विरोध करेगा।
माननीय घनश्याम तिवारी जी, वह बिल इंट्रोड्यूस हो चुका है, उस पर सदन ने अपनी राय व्यक्त कर दिया। उस चीज को फिर चर्चा नहीं, उस पर आप बहस करेंगे, उस पर आएंगे।
आमतौर पर रूलिंग तो दीजिए साहब।
माननीय सदस्यगण, 22 जुलाई को हम द राइट टू हेल्थ बिल 21 पर डिस्कस कर रहे थे, जो माननीय मनोज झा जी ने पेश किया है, और उन्होंने अपना कंक्लूडिंग स्पीच भी दे दिया था। कंक्लूडिंग स्पीच नहीं हुआ था, प्लीज। तो आप प्लीज नहीं, तो झा साहब आप अपना कंक्लूडिंग स्पीच दें, उसके बाद फिर फर्दर हम आगे प्रोसेस में।
धन्यवाद उपसभापति महोदय। मेरे एकदम कितना मिनट बता दीजिए, मैं उतना ही बोलूंगा। नहीं, कृपया झा साहब आपस में बात करने के बजाय चेयर की तरफ से बात करें, प्लीज। सॉरी सर, माफी चाहता हूं। मेरी मंशा कतई नहीं थी कि मैं चेयर के बिलग जाकर के अपने साथियों से बात करूं, लेकिन मैं सबसे पहले तो सर आपके माध्यम से सदन का धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं। तकरीबन तीसरा दिन है आज, इस पर बहुत लंबी बहस हुई, काफी सार्थक बातचीत हुई। सदन में कोई भी ऐसा सदस्य नहीं था जिसको इस बिल की भावना से कोई विरोध हो। ऐसा संसदीय लोकतंत्र में कम अवसर ऐसे होते हैं जब विरोध की गुंजाइश बिल्कुल नहीं होती है, बल्कि सभी साथी किसी न किसी प्रकार से उन्होंने इस विषय पर इसके विस्तारीकरण की बात की, इसके अंदर कुछ ऐसे बिंदु मुझे बताए जो मुझे और समाहरित करने चाहिए थे जब मैंने बिल बनाया था। तो जाहिर तौर पर मैं सबसे पहले आपके माध्यम से सारे सदस्यों को धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं, शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूं। सर, जिस शिद्दत से आज हमारे भाजपा के साथी यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड को लेकर के जो कि बिल इंट्रोड्यूस हो चुका है, मैं चाहूंगा कि उसी शिद्दत से आप इस बिल के बारे में भी वही नजरिया रखें, क्योंकि यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड पर हमारा आपका विरोध था, विरोध है और विरोध रहेगा। लेकिन राइट टू हेल्थ पर हम में से किसी ने भी, जिसने हाल के 1 वर्ष पूर्व जब हमने कोविड की विभीषिका देखी, हमने ऑक्सीजन के लिए हाहाकार देखा, हॉस्पिटल बेड के लिए हाहाकार देखा, इसी सदन में चर्चा हुई और सारे सदस्यों ने अपनी कलेक्टिव हेल्पलेसनेस को कई दफा महसूस किया। ईश्वर न करे वो क्षण इस देश को फिर देखना पड़े, ईश्वर न करे उस तरह की हाहाकार की परिस्थितियां पुनः पैदा हों इस देश में। लेकिन उसके लिए क्या आवश्यक है? मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं माननीय मंत्री जी, वो मुझसे कह के गए उन्हें कहीं जाना था। हमारी एमओएस बैठी हुई है, संजीदगी से भरे हुए लोग, लेकिन चिंता ये सामूहिक होनी चाहिए। सर, मैं क्यों कह रहा हूं, हमारे कई बीजेपी के भी सदस्य और अलग अलग दलों के सदस्य ने आंगनबाड़ी और आशा कर्मियों की बात की और कहा कि ये फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स के लिए तालियां बजी, फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स के लिए अन्य तरह के समारोह हुए। लेकिन सर, वो फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स जिंदा इंसान हैं, वो तालियों से उनका पेट नहीं भरेगा, सिर्फ उनकी वाहवाही होगी, उससे उनके घर की चिंताएं खत्म नहीं होंगी। आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर, आशा वर्कर आपके हेल्थ का पूरा बोझ ढोते हैं अपने कंधों पे, उनके कंधे पर जो बोझ है वो दिनों दिन बढ़ता जा रहा है। सर, दे आर ओवरवर्क्ड एंड अंडरपेड, काम इतना ज्यादा, और उसके एवज में उन्हें हम क्या दे रहे हैं? कोई सोशल सिक्योरिटी नहीं, कितना मानदेय? पीनट्स। ये नजरिया आपको राइट टू हेल्थ के विस्तारीकरण और उस गोल तक पहुंचने में मदद नहीं करेगा। ये मैं आपके लिए नहीं कह रहा हूं, ऐसा नहीं कि राइट टू हेल्थ पर पहली बार, जबकि मैं इस पर रिसर्च कर रहा था सर, बमुश्किल 10-12 मिनट लूंगा, खत्म कर दूंगा। इस पर जब मैं रिसर्च कर रहा था तो संविधान सभा की बैठकों में भी चर्चा हुई, खास करके एक व्यक्ति जिनके बारे में बहुत कम लोग जानते हैं कि उन्होंने पब्लिक हेल्थ सिस्टम के बारे में क्या कहा, मैं बाबा साहब को इस बहस में लाना चाहूंगा। बाबा साहब का नजरिया बिल्कुल साफ था कि पब्लिक हेल्थ सिस्टम, सोशल सिक्योरिटी के बगैर नागरिक का सबलीकरण नहीं हो सकता। और आज हमने उस छोटे से फॉर्मूले को भुला दिया है, उसको वापस लाने की जरूरत है। और मैं समझता हूं माननीय मंत्री जी ने एक बात कही, मैं सहमत हूं कि बजट लगातार बढ़ा रहे हैं। मंत्री महोदय हैं, माननीय उपसभापति महोदय, ये जो आंकड़ा है ना, इस आंकड़े का व्याकरण अद्भुत है। मेरी सैलरी मैं विश्वविद्यालय से लेता हूं, मेरी सैलरी बढ़ी, मान लीजिए इंक्रीमेंट लगता है तो वो बढ़ा 1 साल में। अब उस इंक्रीमेंट को आप इन्फ्लेशन के इंडेक्स में देखिए, आप अगर एलोकेशंस का रियल टाइम वैल्यू जज करेंगे ना तो आपको लगेगा कि इट इज टू लिटिल एंड इवन टू लेट। तो आंकड़ों को लेकर के कहेंगे कि यूपीए के दौरान इतना था, हमने इतना बढ़ाया, बाकी इंडाइसेस को सामने रखिए और तब कहिए। और दुनिया के गरीब गरीब मुल्क सर हमसे ज्यादा खर्च कर रहे हैं, हमसे गरीब हैं लेकिन हेल्थ में उनका एक्सपेंडिचर हमसे ज्यादा है, क्योंकि वो जानते हैं कि जब तक पब्लिक हेल्थ पैरामीटर्स को दुरुस्त नहीं किया जाएगा, आप कितनों रेटोरिकल चीजें कर लें, वो जमीन पर कभी भी नहीं आ पाएंगी। सर, ग्रामीण भारत हमारी चर्चा से अक्सर विलग रह जाता है। मैं माननीय मंत्री साहिबा से आग्रह करूंगा, देखिए अक्सर क्या होता है कि आप जब किसी हॉस्पिटल को विजिट करते हैं तो पहले से जानकारी होती है, किसी क्या कहते हैं पीएससी को विजिट करते हैं, पहले से जानकारी होती है। हम सुना करते हैं राजा महाराजाओं में, ना मेरा यकीन है और ना मैं चाहता हूं कि उनका उदाहरण दिया जाए, लेकिन सुनते थे किसी हिंदुस्तान में कुछ राजा महाराजा होते थे जो वेश बदल करके जाया करते थे निरीक्षण करने के लिए। वेश बदल करके जाइए, एकदम पूरा का पूरा।
आप बोले, आप इधर चेयर की तरफ देखें प्लीज, आपस में
एक माननीय उपसभापति महोदय, एक 2 उदाहरण छोटा छोटा दूंगा। अटल जी, एक दिन अटल जी बोल रहे थे, कांग्रेस के कुछ सदस्यों ने टोका कि अटल जी इतना लंबा बोल रहे हैं। बोला बिना प्रिपेयर करके आया हूं, प्रिपेयर करता तो छोटा बोलता, बिना प्रिपरेशन के बोल रहा। नहीं, जाहिर है सम्मान है उनके लिए, और मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूं कि मैंने पहले कह दिया था ज्यादा वक्त नहीं लूंगा। मैं जानता हूं आज शुक्रवार है, आप सबको कोई ना कोई एंगेजमेंट तुरंत बाहर होगा और मजबूरी है, पार्टी व्हिप है कि बैठना है। एनीवे, माननीय सभापति महोदय, तो ग्रामीण भारत को लेकर के जो मेरी चिंताएं थी, मैंने कहा एक, मैं अगर राइट टू हेल्थ अगर हमने इंश्योर कर लिया, मुझे याद है जब आरटीई की बात हो रही थी तब भी बहुत लोगों की आपत्तियां थी कि इससे क्या होगा, इससे क्या बदलाव आएगा। जब आप किसी चीज को इस तरह से लेजिस्लेटिव फ्रेमवर्क देते हैं तो उससे क्या होता है ना कि अन्याय जो लोगों के साथ दर बदर होता है अलग अलग स्तर पर। और मैं एक छोटा उदाहरण दूंगा, ये ऑक्सफैम की इंडिया डिस्क्रिमिनेशन रिपोर्ट, मैं इसको पढ़ना नहीं चाहता सर, मैंने मार्क किया था इसमें कि कई राज्यों में स्थिति है कि इन पेशेंट केयर में किस तरह का डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होता है, खास करके अगर आप अनुसूचित जाति, जनजाति, अत्यंत पिछड़े वर्गों से आते हैं या आमतौर पे आप गरीब हैं। अगर मैं वर्गीय श्रृंखला की बात करूं, ये विस्तार में ये रिपोर्ट बताता है। मैं माननीय मंत्री जी को ये रिपोर्ट भेज दूंगा ताकि आपके माध्यम से इस पर नजर पड़े तो इस पर कुछ चर्चा हो कि आखिर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के कितने लेयर्स हैं और कैसे हम इम्यून होते जा रहे हैं। एक और चीज सर कह करके what I wanted to actually say sir, जब मैंने कहा कि legislatively guaranteed right will make access to health legally binding and ensure accountability। दवाई की बढ़ती कीमतों के बारे में मैंने पहले भी कहा था, दोबारा कह रहा हूं, मेंटल हेल्थ, मानसिक रोग को लेकर के बहस में भी कम चर्चा हुई थी। मेरा उद्देश्य था कि इस पर व्यापक चर्चा हो, क्योंकि कोविड पेंडेमिक के बाद मेंटल हेल्थ के केसेस में बाढ़ सी आई है और उस बाढ़ की वजह से सर एक बड़ी आबादी है जो अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकती है। इंश्योरेंस कंपनियां हैं, उनसे आप कभी बात करके देखिए, रैंडम चेक करवाइए, कई सारे जो मेंटल हेल्थ एलिमेंट हैं उनको वो क्लेम में आने ही नहीं देते हैं। ये सारी चीजें मैं समझता हूं कि अगर हम इस पर चर्चा करें। फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स के बारे में मैंने आपसे कह दिया, सिर्फ इतना कहूंगा कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी अप्रैल 2022 में पेमेंट ऑफ ग्रेच्युटी एक्ट को कहा था एप्लीकेबल करो आंगनवाड़ी सेंटर्स में। ये मैं माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के माध्यम से कह रहा हूं। और एक आखिरी टिप्पणी करके खत्म करूंगा, ये जो लाभार्थी है, ये लाभार्थी शब्द बहुत प्रचलित हो गया। आर पीपल आर नॉट आर बेनिफिशियरीज, दे आर द सिटीजन्स ऑफ दिस कंट्री। part of the paradigm which is called welfare state. और welfare state में ये लाभार्थी की संज्ञा कि ये लाभार्थी, कोई लाभार्थी नहीं है सर। मैंने बार बार कहा इसी सदन में, बड़े कोई भी पार्टी, आजकल तो कंपटीशन चल पड़ा है, मुफ्त मुफ्त मुफ्त। अरे मुफ्त कुछ नहीं है, उसका टैक्स है, किसी भी फॉर्म में हो, आप उसके टैक्स का एक मिनिमम रिलीफ दे रहे हैं, इसको मुफ्त मत कहिए। और ये बेनिफिशियरी के नजरिए से मत देखिए, राइट के नजरिए से देखिए, अधिकार के नजरिए से देखिए। सर एक हास्य के लिए एक छोटी चीज सुना करके खत्म कर दूंगा। हास्य के लिए, विंस्टन चर्चिल रूजवेल्ट के यहां जाते थे, प्रेसिडेंट थे रूजवेल्ट, व्हील चेयर पे चलते थे। और चर्चिल अपने विट के लिए फेमस थे, हालांकि उनकी पॉलिटिक्स से हम लोग इत्तेफाक नहीं रखते हैं, कभी नहीं रखेंगे। तो चर्चिल साहब को व्हाइट हाउस में ही कमरा मिला करता था, तो वह नहा रहे थे और उनकी नहाने की आदत थी कि नग्नावस्था में नहाते थे। तो रूजवेल्ट पहुंच गए, रूजवेल्ट ने पूछा, जैसे ही व्हील चेयर वहां ले गए तो बका के रूजवेल्ट अपनी व्हील चेयर को मोड़ा। अब चर्चिल देखिए, सर मैंने इसलिए कहा थोड़ा हल्के माहौल के लिए, मैं इच्छा बड़ी थी कि मैं डिवीजन ले लूं इस पर, मत विभाजन की मांग करूं, क्योंकि यह बिल हम सबके मन का है। लेकिन मंत्री महोदया मुझे देख रही हैं टुकुर टुकुर और बाकी लोग भी, तो मैं मत विभाजन की अपने टेम्पटेशन को कर्व करता हूं इस अपील के साथ कि सर आज नहीं तो कल ये बिल आएगा। अगर आप ये कर बैठे तो एक बहुत बड़ा एहसान होगा इस देश पर, इस देश के नागरिकों पर। और शायद एक आगे जब हम बात करेंगे ना, तो हेल्थ को लाभार्थी के नजरिए से नहीं, अधिकार के नजरिए से बात करेंगे। हमारे आशा कर्मी प्रोटेक्टेड होंगे, आंगनवाड़ी कर्मी प्रोटेक्टेड होंगे, डॉक्टर पेशेंट रेशियो बेहतर होगा, पीएचसी लैक लस्टर नहीं होगी, सरकारी अस्पताल में कुत्ते नहीं सो रहे होंगे बेड्स पे, ये शायद बेहतर परिस्थितियां होंगी। थैंक यू सो मच सर, थैंक यू टू ऑल माय फ्रेंड्स फॉर ग्रेट पार्टिसिपेशन। जय हिंद, लेट्स कीप टॉकिंग लाइक दैट।
धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर मनोज कुमार झा जी। So you are withdrawing the bill, Professor Manoj Kumar Jha. You are not putting for the vote. You are withdrawing the bill.
सर नहीं, देखिए मैं एक इसमें सर करार करवाना चाहता हूं, आप यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड वापस ले लीजिए बिल को। नहीं, that was in a lighter note. I must say, I have spoken, my friends have spoken, Honorable Minister has spoken, and we have a general consensus. We'll take steps, but my only request is, let it not be baby steps. Let it to be a huge step at one point of time, and do it soon, and I withdraw the bill from voting.
Has he leave of house to withdraw the bill? The bill is withdrawn. इस बिल पर 15 लोग बोल चुके हैं और लगभग 4.5 घंटे से अधिक बहस हुई। धन्यवाद। Now we move to next bill, the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022, amendment of Article 153 and substitution of Article 155 and 156. Dr. V. Shivadasan to move for a motion of consideration of Constitution Amendment Bill 2022. प्लीज
सर।
यस, आप बोलें दो सर। इस पे कुछ बोलना चाहते हो बोलें, मोशन मूव करने के पहले।
मोशन मूव करना है।
I move the motion.
You move the bill.
Yeah, move the bill.
Okay. So motion moved. So now it will be open for discussion. Mani Sanjay Singh.
Sir, I like to speak first. I like to speak on.
तो मैंने आपसे अनुरोध किया था बोलने के लिए।
Because of the confusion, sir. Sorry for that.
Okay. क्योंकि संजय सिंह नहीं है, अगर वो बोलने के लिए खड़े हो गए होते तो मैं मौका नहीं दे पाता। पर आप बोले।
Respected Chair, here I would like to present, I think, very important subject here. If we look at the history, governor is a position which has been there since colonial times. the role of governors in colonial India was the suppression and oppression of Indian people. Sir, the governors who were ruling the provinces under Governor General were like kings. They took all the powers to themselves, leaving hardly anything for the elected or nominated members of the council. Sir, even when a little bit of representation was given to Indians, the governors retained their autocratic position. Why, sir? The British colonial rulers thought that we, the Indians, were not capable to stand on our own feet. They thought we are not entitled to guide ourselves, so like a child to be guided by elders, we were considered minors to guided and controlled and taught by the great English man. Sir, this colonial vision was racist and undemocratic. So once T.N. Sheshan was offered the position of a governor, and he refused to take it. And journalist asked why. Then he had given the answer. So why you are not taking up the position of governor? This is a question from the journalist. And T.N. Sheshan, in humorous way, said, if I become governor, my wife will become governess. Being a governess is a good job, but the governor should not treat the government as child. In fact, our governors are actually acting like our elected ministers are not mature. So they are encroaching on their constitutional boundaries. Governors think that the position still has the power it had in the colonial era. So if Nehru or Ambedkar happen to come to India today and they are first taken to the Rajya Sabha, then they think that they have gone to the British India. So because the same colonial mindset is adopted and practiced by many governors in India, because they have thought that this would be impartial and neutral position which will be used a very dignified manner. Sir, I want to remember a name of a governor here, the governor of Madhya Pradesh, H.P. Padaskar. Then the chief minister was late Kedarnath Kadju, and the prime minister was Nehru. Nehru came to Madhya Pradesh and he criticized the chief minister considering some law and order issues. The governor wrote back to the Nehru. He defended him, the chief minister, and said that the PM is not supposed to criticize the chief minister in such a manner. Sir, but what is happening today? Sir, there were many debates about should the governor be selected, whether he should be elected or nominated. In fact, the first suggestion by Sri B.N. Rao was for election of governor. And the removal of the governor was vested with the state legislature. But this plan was rejected by Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Do you know, sir, why? Ambedkar rejected, and he told us, Baba Sahib thought that since the position of governor is so powerless. So then he added that no one will be ready to contest the post of governor. Ambedkar said that the power of governor were only nominal, he has no discretionary powers. That is why I am saying that Ambedkar will be shocked to see is happening in our country today. Sir, so finally, it was decided that the governors will be appointed by the president. And I was expected that the union government will always consult the state before appointing the governor. Jawaharlal Nehru made it clear that the governor should be a person acceptable to the provinces. So, Alladi Krishnaiyer expected that a convention will develop whereby the governor will be appointed by consulting states, as happens in Australia and Canada. At that time, he told us. What did Ambedkar say about governors? He clearly said that governors are to be nominal heads. The first thing in Constituent Assembly, he told us, the first thing, I quoted, the first thing I would like the House to bear in mind this, the governor under the Constitution has no functions which he can discharge by himself, in no functions at all. Even under this article, the governor is bound to accept advice of the cabinet. Therefore, the criticism that has been made that this article somehow enables the governors to interfere or to upset the decision of the cabinet is entirely beside the point and completely mistaken, unquote. But as a euphemism, the doctrine of pleasure was retained in the Constitution. But, sir, this came from the Constitution of India Act 1935. According to Article 164, the Council of Ministers shall hold the power during the pleasure of the governor. In fact, H.N. Kunstru in Constitutional Assembly said that this was an unpleasant reminder of the past. Sir, the doctrine of pleasure is an anachronism. In India, the post of governor and his or her powers, functions are the major issues since independence. Father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, told us on the importance of decentralization and Grama Swaraj. Sir, we have derived our concept of decentralization or autonomy of administration, including the village, by the national movement. Sir, the forefathers of the nation raised a flag of unity in diversity. It is the spirit of the national movement. Sir, unity in diversity is the fundamental spirit of our nation. So, we are thinking the diversity is the strength of us. But the criticism on our nation is there. Criticism on the Constitution is there. It's a federal, it is in the federal in form, but it is more unitary in this character. Sir, strengthening the federal system is necessary for meeting the aspirations of the people. So, therefore, center-state relations, the arrangements or the power distribution between the union and the states, union government and the state governments is very crucial to maintain the peaceful atmosphere within the relationship. The concentration of powers, functions, and responsibilities have always been crucial and always creating the many kind of problems. Experience proves that legislative, administrative, and financial powers are disproportionately concentrated in the hands of the union government. Sir, but the states having a large number of responsibilities without sufficient financial support or autonomy. Sir, the significant socio-economic and political changes occurring in the post-independence era. So, center-state relationship have also undergone some changes. Sir, the period since 1991, which witnessed a paradigm shift in the economic strategy, form of planned development, and to a market is a planned development to a market-oriented development we are seeing here. It also thrown up new issues and challenges in front of the federal structure. So this great impact on the functioning of democracy as well as the well-being of the people. So a thorough restructuring of center-state relationship is very necessary in this current period. It should be in order to correct existing imbalance of the power distribution within the state and center. That will empower the states. If states empowered, automatically the peoples will get the benefit. If genuine autonomy is the developments, sir, the necessity of the post of governor, that I am sure the discussion and debate on the post of governor and the work and the administrative powers, everything is debated everywhere in the legislative assemblies. So, and it will create the initiative for the discussion on center-state relationship and among the political parties and organizations. Sir, we all know the state structure in India is federal in name, but most of the powers and resources are concentrated in the hands of the union government. So the anti-democratic provisions of Article 356 of the Constitution is one of the example here. To dismiss elected state governments and dissolve the elected state assemblies, it is a threat to the federal and democratic sector of our country. It is a major instrument for subverting the federal system and the autonomy of the states. The states enjoy little power. It makes them dependent on the central government. It exercises their development. Therefore, the contradictions between the union government and the states have grown. Sir, the government of West Bengal had adopted a 15-point memorandum in 1977, seeking a relationship of central-state relations. Many other political parties, since their inspection, have also stood for a restructuring of central-state relationship and greater federal autonomy. Sir, the Srinagar conclave in 1983 brought together parties like DMK, TDP, Akali Dal, Republican Party of India, the Assam Jadi Badi Dal, and JNK National Conference, along with the left parties. There also power distribution, power of the governance was one of the core subjects. In his note at that time, Jyoti Basu said, contrary to what is generally argued, the devolution of economic powers, resources, and decision making instead of weakening the center would actually strengthen the base. So, the major areas identified at Srinagar conclave, which have been repeatedly endorsed by subsequent conference of the chief ministers related to the administrative, legislative, and financial spheres. In the administrative field, the major issues were the abuse of Article 356, the sending of central forces to the states without their concurrence, and the role of governors. The major issues in the legislative sphere related to introduce by the center into state list subject and delays in obtaining assents for important bills passed by the state. Sir, the bill which passed the assemblies, legislative assemblies, after the thorough discussion, but the governor are keeping it in their pocket. This also we are seeing in each and every state in India. In the financial sphere, the major issues related to increasing centralization of powers in the union government. It matters like resources, mobilization and allocation, other key areas of economic decision making like planning. With the demand of restructuring, the central-state relationship gathering momentum, the union government had also set up the Sarkaria Commission in 1983. This commission took about 5 years to submit its report. Its recommendations failed to resolve most of the basic issues mentioned above. Sir, except some minor improvements in the financial sphere, such as giving powers to the municipalities to issue tax-free bonds, endorsing the chief minister's decisions on considering consignment tax, extending slightly the time limit frame for overdraft loans extra. It is unfortunate that even these recommendations of the Sarkaria Commission have not been implemented by the union government after nearly 4 decades. So even then, not only have the major problems not been resolved, but new problems have also emerged. Many commissions and committees were appointed on the central state relation in different periods. The states were not consulted prior to the formation of these commissions or committees. Neither the terms of reference nor the composition of commission. These all kind of things we are seeing. We were seeing in the nation. Sir, the union government set up a commission on central-state relationship in April 2007 with former Chief Justice M.M. Punji as the chairperson. The Punji Commission report we are discussing now recently, each and every state that governors issue, everybody is quoting the Punji Commission. Generally sponsored schemes to the states and alleviation of the debt burden of the states. On the other hand, the terms of references included the issue of sumoto interference of law and order and deployment of central forces, which is an intrusion into the jurisdiction of the states. Sir, here the Punji Commission has made some noted recommendations, comments on the appointment of and powers of the governor. In the history of India, the governors are the main culprit of the repeated misuse of administrative and legislative spheres. It is proved the use of the provisions of Article 356 of the Constitution to dismiss 356 of the Constitution to dismiss the state governments and dissolve state assemblies by the governors. Their demand to restrict the use of restrict government and dissolve the state assemblies by the governors. The demand to restrict the use of Article 356 only to cases where there is a serious threat to national unity or the secular fabric of the country has been raised from various quarters in the nation in this August House, many of the members from different political parties had raised the same in different manner, and it was discussed in the meeting of the interstate councils. The state legislative assemblies also discussed. In view of the Supreme Court judgment on SR Bombay case, there is an urgent need to build strong safeguard in Article 356 and 365 through appropriate amendments of the Constitution. However, no decision has been taken by the Union government in this regard. There is another matter, general deployment of paramilitary forces in the state unilaterally. The provenance of Article 355 needs to be clarified. It has been repeatedly stressed by the several states. The governors are making the communications without consulting the state government. It was utilized sabotage the state government. The state had various experiences. The term internal disturbance in Article 355 is related to public order. What is the first entry in the state list? That is the first entry in the state list. The proposal for central deployment of paramilitary forces in a state in a situation which the center would consider as internal disturbance. Without the state concurrence is unacceptable. Article 355 should be amended on the lines suggested above the Article 356. So, we should take an initiative for the discussion of the appointment and role of governors. If the post of nominated governor is needed, then one suggestion is to collect the 3 names from the chief minister of concerned state. If you need the elected governor, then an election should be conducted. An electoral college should be constituted with the members of the Legislative Assembly and the representative of the local self-governments. None of the major countries of the world with a federal constitution have any provision for the post of governor in a state to be appointed by the center. There should also be a time limit with regard to governor's assent, a bill passed by the state assemblies. Moreover, the requirement of an explicit norm debarring governors from publicly expressing disagreement or differences with the state government also not to be debated. There is also a need to review whether the governor should continue to be ex officio chancellors of state universities. In Kerala, the governor, after making the appointment, is asking the vice chancellors to resign. There is no power for the governor acting as chancellor to ask vice chancellor to resign. Legislative powers for state is curtailing through the interventions of union government through the governor. Residuary power is one of the issue in the case. It is in the hand of the union government. Now, the residuary powers of legislation should be placed in the state list. Sir, a process of consultation between the center and the states needs to be institutionalized on legislations under the concurrent list. The Constitution should also be amended to set defined time limits for receiving the assent of governors or president in the case of bill passed by the state assemblies. Governors are sitting on the legislations passed by the state assemblies in utter disregard to Article 200 of the Constitution. Various examples from the states of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, including the NEET bill from Tamil Nadu and Lokayukta amendment bill from Kerala, etc. Governors of various states are behaving as a political actors and are not impartial and independent in their exercise of constitutional duties. Sir, the recent comment by the Governor of Kerala that Kerala ministers may invite actions including withdrawal of pleasure. If they lower the dignity of the governor's office, has reignited the debate on the contours of power that a governor holds under the Constitution. The Chief Minister of Kerala was quick to retort. He asserted that the governor held only limited powers and cannot act contrary to the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. The governor of Kerala then escalated the issue of communicating to the Chief Minister that he has withdrawn the pleasure of Finance Minister serving in the cabinet. The Chief Minister have rejected the governor's demand. Sir, the controversy poses several questions of larger constituent purport. Whether the governor can act in whatever manner he pleases. In Shamsher Singh versus State of Punjab, the Supreme Court has held that the governor has to act in aid and advice of the Council of Ministers only, and that the governors have very limited discretionary powers. The silence in the Constitution regarding the pleasure of the governors is misused by the governors these days to carry forward the agenda of union government. Sir, the governor is only a titular head and can only act as one. B.R. Ambedkar has said that governor is only a ceremonial device. According to the Supreme Court of Nation, Constitution Bench judgment in Nabam Rabia versus Deputy Speaker of Arunachal Assembly, the functions, duties and powers of the governor by or under the Constitution are cabinet cribbed and confined.
Honorable Member.
It is.
Honorable Member. The Constitution Amendment Bill 2022 further proceedings will continue for the next allotted day, that is 23rd December 2022.
Thank you, sir.
The private member state.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take up the next work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Special mentions. Shri Naresh Bansal.
धन्यवाद चेयरमैन सर। सहारनपुर देहरादून चक्राता उत्तरकाशी एवं देहरादून सहारनपुर रेल लाइन और हरिद्वार देहरादून के बीच बड़ी रेल की आवश्यकता है। यह दुख का विषय है कि आज़ादी के इतने साल बाद भी पहाड़ रेल व 4 लेन एवं ऑल वेदर रोड से वंचित रहा। आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने इस दर्द को समझा व इसकी मंजूरी देने के साथ ही लक्ष्यबद्ध कार्यक्रम के तहत इसका कार्य भी शुरू हो गया, जो निश्चित रूप से रिकॉर्ड समय में पूरा भी होगा। प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में बाबा केदारनाथ जी, भगवान बद्री विशाल जी के धाम का विकास कार्य जो हो रहा है, उसके लिए वह साधुवाद के पात्र हैं। विकास कार्य हर क्षेत्र में हो रहा है, पहले से बहुत ज़्यादा। उसके लिए मैं उत्तराखंड की समस्त देवतुल्य जनता की ओर से अपने सेवक का कोटि कोटि आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। चक्राता उत्तरकाशी आदि भी रेल लाइन से वंचित है, जहां हरिद्वार देहरादून के बीच कई प्रमुख रेलों का संचालन नहीं है और ऋषिकेश कर्णप्रयाग रेल लाइन को देहरादून रेलवे स्टेशन से भी जोड़ा जाना बाकी है। सहारनपुर देहरादून के बीच सीधा रेल संपर्क नहीं है, जिससे हरिद्वार की ओर से आना पड़ता है। वह समय बहुत अधिक लगता है, वह माल भाड़ा भी बहुत अधिक हो जाता है। साथ ही चक्राता, मसूरी, उत्तरकाशी जो उत्तराखंड के मुख्य धार्मिक और पर्यटन स्थल हैं, वह सुरक्षा की सामरिक दृष्टि से महत्वपूर्ण है, पर अभी तक रेल सुविधा नहीं है, जो चिंता का विषय है। मैं सरकार से निवेदन करना चाहता हूं कि देहरादून सहारनपुर रेल लाइन, देहरादून हरिद्वार के मध्य बड़ी रेल व सहारनपुर देहरादून चक्राता मसूरी उत्तरकाशी रेल लाइन की आवश्यकता है। थैंक यू सर।
डॉक्टर अनिल सुखदेव राव बोंडे। नॉट प्रेजेंट। श्रीमती शांता छेत्री।
Thank you, sir, for allowing me to speak. Sir, I would like to draw your kind attention that the children of our brave soldiers suffers untold pain both psychologically and materially when they suddenly and unexpectedly lose their parents in the service to the nation. Sir, without a parent, life becomes a misery to the extent that none can comprehend it. The minor suffers plight, both psychological and material. Therefore, I would like to urge the Honorable Prime Minister through you, sir, that the children of the March Gorkha Rifle soldiers be included in the reservation quota. Our Shaheed deserves this for their supreme sacrifice. Thank you, sir.
श्री कैलाश सोनी।
माननीय सभापति जी, सदन के माध्यम से लोक महत्व के विषय की ओर भारत सरकार का ध्यान आकृष्ट कराना चाहता हूं। लोकतंत्र में पत्रकारों की अहम भूमिका आजादी के समय से वर्तमान तक अति महत्वपूर्ण रही है। इनके माध्यम से जन सरोकार के मुद्दों की जानकारी जनप्रतिनिधियों को, सदन को, सरकार को प्राप्त होती है। इनमें लंबे समय से देश के विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में काम करने के कारण पत्रकारों को मान्यता प्रदान की जाती है। ऐसे पत्रकारों को उनके कार्यों की सुगमता एवं उनकी भूमिका को देखते हुए सरकार को उन्हें रेल में एवं टोल नाकों वगैरह पर जो पूर्व में कुछ रियायतें दी भी जाती थीं, पर छूट प्रदान की जावे, जिससे जन सरोकारों पर काम करने की उनकी वृत्ति और मजबूत होगी।
श्रीमती वंदना चौहान।
So through this special mention, I wish to draw the attention of the government to a serious issue regarding malnutrition of children, especially of migrant workers, sir. So malnutrition, child malnutrition is a long-standing chronic problem in our country. Despite decades of investment to tackle this malaise, India's child malnutrition rates are still one of the most alarming in the world. Though there are several schemes of the government, however, since there is no or failed real-time monitoring systems, the children, especially of migrant workers who travel from rural to urban areas or to different states in search of livelihood, are the worst affected. Existential struggle, low wages, harsh exploitative work conditions, and economic vulnerability result in no time to access government schemes, resulting in an extremely dire situation for their children, leaving them deprived of education and nutritional needs. Undernutrition has long-term effects, morbidity, mortality, and chronic disease impairment. It also affects the physical and cognitive development of a child, rendering their future bleak. It is estimated there are approximately 100 million short-term migrants in India, out of which approximately 10 to 15 million are children. Poshan Abhiyan in the recent times sought to scale up the ICDS program through several important interventions. However, children of migrants still face several hurdles in accessing their entitlements. It is important that the government addresses the critical gap in migration literature and further devises a methodology to reach migrant communities to provide them with a holistic social cushion. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Dola Sen, not present. Sri Rakesh Sinha.
सभापति महोदय, इस परंपरा को पुनर्जीवित करने के लिए पहले मैं आपको धन्यवाद देता हूं कि सदस्यों को बोलकर स्पेशल मेंशन रखने का आपने अवसर दिया। मेरा स्पेशल मेंशन दियारा को किसानों के शब्दकोश से बाहर कर कृषि व्यवस्था अर्थव्यवस्था को दुरुस्त करने के संबंध में। देश के कई राज्यों असम, बिहार, बंगाल आदि में किसानों को बाढ़ का सामना करना पड़ता है। यह सब न सिर्फ किसानों की सामाजिक आर्थिक जीवन को दुर्भर करता है, बल्कि इसका सीधा प्रभाव देश के कृषि उत्पादन पर भी पड़ता है। अर्थव्यवस्था पर बाढ़ नियंत्रण एवं प्रबंधन के कारण वित्तीय दबाव भी रहता है। असम में ब्रह्मपुत्र, बिहार में कोसी और गंगा नदियों के कारण करोड़ों किसान पीढ़ियों से प्रभावित हो रहे हैं। बाढ़ के कारण दियारा क्षेत्र का विस्तार होता है। दियारा में 2 फसल साधारणतया नहीं हो पाती है। अस्पताल, स्कूल, सड़क का अभाव या होने पर भी उनका पानी में डूबना, भवन टूटना जारी रहता है। उदाहरण के तौर पर बिहार के बेगूसराय में 43% भूमि दियारा है। इन क्षेत्रों भवानंदपुर, बिशनपुर, मकसदनपुर, मधुरापुर, नया गांव, चौथम जाकर स्वयं देखा कि छोटे किसान तंगी हालत में हैं। यहाँ के अधिकांश किसान भूमिहीन बनते जा रहे हैं। एक व्यक्ति अपने जीवन में बाढ़ के विध्वंस के औसतन औसतन 2 बार रहने का स्थान बदलने के लिए बाध्य होता है। इसका समाधान रिंग बांध है। केंद्र सरकार की पहल की आवश्यकता है। उत्तर और मध्य बिहार में स्थित पटना, खगड़िया, बेगूसराय का 40% कृषि भूमि दियारा है। असम में ब्रह्मपुत्र के दोनों तरफ हजारों हेक्टेयर दियारा है। आपके माध्यम से सरकार से आग्रह है कि नीति आयोग के अंतर्गत एक कार्य दल का गठन कर देश में दियारा को श्रेणियों में बांटे। साथ ही किसानों की परेशानियों को कम करने के लिए राष्ट्रीय दियारा बोर्ड का भी निर्माण होना चाहिए। धन्यवाद।
डॉक्टर सस्मित पात्रा।
Thank you, Honorable Chairman, sir, for giving me this opportunity on the special mentions. The subject of the special mention is inclusion of 3 tribal languages spoken in Odisha within the 8th schedule of Indian Constitution. Languages spoken by our tribal brothers and sisters are precious for India. There is a huge need for including 3 major tribal languages, Ho, Mundari and Bhumij, in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. Language is extremely important as an ethnic identity, and with a scheduled tribe population of over 22.85%, Odisha is home to 62 tribal communities, including 13 particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Inclusion of Ho, Mundari and Bhumij languages will go a long way in fulfilling the long-standing demands and aspirations of the tribal communities speaking these 3 languages. Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Naveen Patnaik, has written in this regard to the Honorable Union Home Affairs Minister earlier and requested the inclusion of 3 languages in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. Ho language is spoken by nearly 10 lakh tribal people living in Odisha and Jharkhand. After Santhali, which has already been included in 8th schedule, Ho is second most widely spoken tribal language in Odisha. Mundari is spoken by more than 6 lakh people belonging to the Munda and Mundari tribes of Odisha. Mundari is spoken by more than 6 lakh people belonging to the Munda and Mundari tribes of Odisha. Bhumij is spoken by about 3 lakh people. The Odisha government has initiated several steps for giving recognition to the tribal languages. However, there are some tribal languages in Odisha which highly deserve to be included in the 8th schedule of Constitution. I strongly demand that Union government takes necessary steps for inclusion of Ho, Mundari and Bhumij languages in the 8th schedule of Indian Constitution. Thank you, sir.
Shri Ghanshyam Tiwari.
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय। मैं राजस्थान के सांगानेर का जो हाथ उद्योग है प्रिंटिंग का, उसके बारे में अपने विचार रखना चाहता हूं। जयपुर राजस्थान में सांगानेरी हाथ ठप्पा छपाई हस्तकला करीब 500 वर्ष पुराना लघु उद्योग विश्व प्रसिद्ध है। वर्तमान में इस उद्योग में निर्मित वस्त्रों की स्वदेशी पूर्ति के साथ विदेशों में भी निर्यात किया जाने लगा है, जिससे सरकार को विदेशी मुद्रा भी प्राप्त होने लगी है। सांगानेरी हाथ ठप्पा छपाई उद्योग कार्य कुटीर उद्योग की श्रेणी में घरों में किया जाता है। इस उद्योग में छपाई हेतु जो रंग काम में ले जाते हैं वे प्राकृतिक और वनस्पतिक होते हैं, जैसे हरड़ा, दावड़ा, आल की लकड़ी का रंग। वर्ष 1944 में पंजीकृत कैलिको प्रिंटर्स कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी सांगानेर द्वारा हाथ ठप्पा छपाई वस्त्रों के उत्पाद निर्माण से लेकर विक्रय तक की व्यवस्था की जाती है। सोसाइटी स्वयं कच्चा माल लेकर अपना उत्पाद बनाती है। सोसाइटी के निर्मित उत्पाद जैसे बेड शीट, पिलो कवर, साड़ी, सूट इत्यादि हैं। इस उद्योग में बहुत कम मात्रा में पानी का उपयोग किया जाता है तथा उपयोग उपरांत निकलने वाला पानी नगण्य प्रदूषित होता है। इस उद्योग को भारत सरकार ने जीआई प्रमाण पत्र भी प्राप्त है। वर्तमान में सरकार द्वारा इस उद्योग को प्रदूषण की रेड श्रेणी में रखा है। उल्लेख करना चाहूंगा कि इस हस्तकला उद्योग को सरकारी सुविधा एवं संरक्षण के बजाय आए दिन राजस्थान राज्य प्रदूषण नियंत्रण मंडल द्वारा बिजली कटाई के नोटिस दिए जा रहे हैं। सांगानेर में एक अन्य इसी प्रकृति का हाथ कागज उद्योग है, जिसे ऑरेंज प्रदूषण श्रेणी में डाला हुआ है। अतः सांगानेर की हाथ छपाई उद्योग को प्रदूषण की रेड श्रेणी से हटाया जाकर ऑरेंज श्रेणी में करने का निवेदन है। धन्यवाद।
डॉक्टर राधा मोहन दास अग्रवाल।
धन्यवाद महोदय। मेरा विषय है अखिल भारतीय चिकित्सा संस्थान यानी एम्स में सामान्य प्राथमिक उपचार किए जाने से उत्पन्न
आपसे आग्रह करना चाहता हूं कि मैं
एम्स एक्ट 1956 स्वीकृत कराते समय स्वास्थ्य मंत्री ने कहा कि मेरा सपना है कि शिक्षा के उच्चतर स्तर को बनाने तथा स्नातकोत्तर चिकित्सा के लिए एम्स की स्थापना की जाए। 2003 में प्रधानमंत्री स्वास्थ्य सुरक्षा योजना के अंतर्गत कहा गया कि विश्वसनीय एवं वहनीय टर्शरी केयर की स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं में क्षेत्रीय विषमता दूर करने के लिए पूरे देश में एम्स की स्थापना जरूरी है। अभी तक देश में कुल 20 एम्स स्थापित हो चुके हैं। यह एम्स प्राथमिक सेवा देने वाले पीएचसी, सीएचसी, जिला अस्पताल तथा द्वितीयक सेवा देने वाले मेडिकल कॉलेजों से मुकाबला करने के लिए नहीं, बल्कि टर्शरी मेडिकल केयर, स्नातकोत्तर शिक्षा और चिकित्सा शोध के लिए बनाए गए थे। लेकिन बहुत दुख के साथ कहना पड़ता है कि आज एम्स में सर्दी, जुकाम, निमोनिया, डायरिया, उल्टी, पेट और सिर में दर्द के मरीजों की भीड़ लगी पड़ी है। एक और विशेषज्ञ चिकित्सकों की कमी है और दूसरी ओर जो हैं वो भी हल्की फुल्की बीमारियों की भीड़ में दबे हुए हैं। ऐसे में न तो उनके अंदर उच्च शैक्षणिक अनुभव, पढ़ने पढ़ाने की भूख रह जाएगी और न ही उच्च चिकित्सा शोध कार्यों में रुचि ही रहेगी। यह अत्यंत आवश्यक है कि पीएचसी, सीएचसी, जिला अस्पतालों, मेडिकल कॉलेजों से मरीजों का अनावश्यक रूप से भागकर एम्स पहुंचना रोका जाए और एम्स के चिकित्सकों को क्लिष्ट, गंभीर और अनिनादित मरीजों के इलाज तथा चिकित्सा शोध कार्यों के लिए आरक्षित किया जाए। एम्स को सामान्य मरीजों से भरकर फुटफॉल के आंकड़े दिखाने की जगह एम्स को सिर्फ रेफरल हॉस्पिटल बनाएं।
श्री केसी श्रीमती ममता मोहंता, Dr. L. Hanumanthaya.
Thank you, Chairman sir. My subject to be raised under special mention is stopping of pre-matric scholarship for SC, ST, OBCs and minority students of class 1 to 8. Sir, today to raise the significant issue that is pre-matric scholarship for students, the central government recent decision that is on 30/11/2022 to stop the pre-matric scholarship for marginalized communities including SCs, STs and OBCs and minorities is wholly unjustified and a travesty of the marginalized section of our society in the field of education. Sir, it has been reported that the central government has rejected crores of pre-matric scholarship applications for this year. Sir, the government has said since such students are already covered under Right to Education Act, there is no need for such scholarship. This is the explanation given by them. Sir, however, despite free education, scholarships are important tool to incentivize the education of young students from marginalized communities, SCs, STs, OBCs and minorities. Sir, such a drastic measure will surely affect the enrollment and attendance of the students from these communities at the elementary level. Sir, as per the reports, there are about 75% are getting admitted to the schools. Even now, 25% students are out of the school. This shows the seriousness of this problem.
Honorable member, you are required to confine to the text.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is only a
There has
text.
been violation on number of occasions while you were reading it out.
No, those statistics were left out, sir. Left out actually.
Let's confine to the text.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If left out something, take steps with the table office to make correction.
Okay, 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 sir.
Go ahead.
So thus, I would request the government of India to immediately take back their order and reinstate the pre-matric scholarship for students of classes 1 to 8, especially for these categories, that is SC, ST, OBC and minorities communities. Thank you, sir.
Shri Niranjan BC.
Thank you, Chairman, sir, for allowing me to mention in the matter of urgent public importance regarding withdrawal of GST on Kendulip. Sir, Kendulip is minor forest produce and is the financial backbone of around 8 lakhs Kendulip pluckers, binders and seasonal workers of Odisha, who mostly belong to the tribal community and also among the poorest of the poor people of the society. The tribal people call it their right as defined under Scheduled Tribe and other traditional forest dweller recognition of Forest Right Act 2006. They have the right to procure and sell the Kendulip, but levying 18% GST on Kendulip is affecting the trade and livelihood of Kendulip pluckers. 18% GST needs to be withdrawn in the greater interest of the people of Odisha, particularly in the interest of the tribal people. This in turn affects the livelihood of Kendulip pluckers, binders and seasonal workers, and also impacts the implementation of social security and welfare scheme meant for them. Our Honorable Chief Minister Sri Naveen Patnaik ji has also expressed his concern and written letter on this issue to central government to withdraw 18% GST. So I urge upon the union government to withdraw 18% GST from Kendulip for the largest interest of Odisha, sir. Thank you.
To associate Shri Sujit Kumar.
I associate with the special mention. Do you want me to read it out?
Your option.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, while supplementing what my honorable colleague has said, I would like to draw the attention of the House to the predicament of more than 1 crore Kendu leaf workers in India who have been suffering since the implementation of GST in 2017, on 1st of July to be precise, wherein 18% GST is being imposed upon Kendu leaf producer. Sir, in the state of Odisha, this has had a significant impact on over 8 lakh Kendu leaf workers, most of whom happen to be tribals and women, and who make up roughly 80% of the Kendu leaf workforce. It is to be noted that the collection of Kendu leaves is the financial lifeline for the subsistence of the tribal communities, sir. Sir, empathizing with the plight of Kendu leaf workers, our Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Naveen Patnaik, made repeated requests to the central government for reduction of GST rates on Kendu leaf from 18% to 5%. Before late Shri Arun Jaitley ji, the then Finance Minister, on 29th of November 2018, and before Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, the current Union Finance Minister, on 17th of December 2019. However, GST reduction was not considered, sir. Recently, in light of the trade in Kendu leaves being negatively impacted by the 18% GST and the situation worsening after the COVID-19 pandemic, Honorable CM of Odisha has raised the request again for complete withdrawal of GST on Kendu leaves. In his letter dated 25th of November 2022 to the Union Finance Minister, it is thereby requested that the GST on Kendu leaves be removed in order to protect the livelihood of the community that depends on collection of Kendu leaves for their subsistence. Thank you, sir.
Shri Subhash Chandra Bose Pilli, not present. Shri Rajmani Patel.
धन्यवाद माननीय सभापति जी। विशेष उल्लेख के माध्यम से रेलवे लाइन से प्रभावित किसानों के परिवार को नौकरी एवं मुआवजा दिलाने बाबत सदन का ध्यान आकर्षित करना चाहता हूं। ललितपुर सिंगरौली रेल परियोजना के अंतर्गत सतना रीवा रेल दोहरीकरण में प्रभावित ग्राम सतरी कुठार हिनौता मनकहरी बम्हौरी खारी एवं बगहाई ग्राम के किसानों की जमीन ली गई, लेकिन अभी तक प्रभावित किसानों के परिवार के सदस्यों को नौकरी नहीं दी गई है। कुछ किसानों को नौकरी देने का प्रावधान किया गया है, उसे परियोजना तथा उन्हीं शर्तों के तहत जमीन लेने के बाद भी 631 किसानों को नौकरी देने के लिए पात्र नहीं माना गया है। साथ ही मुआवजा निर्धारण में भी भेदभाव किया गया है, जिसे लेकर पीड़ित किसान परिवार धरना अनशन आंदोलन लंबे समय से कर रहे हैं। माननीय सभापति महोदय, मैं माननीय मंत्री से अनुरोध करना चाहता हूं कि जिन किसानों की जमीन ली गई है, सभी किसानों के परिवारजनों को नौकरी का प्रावधान किया जाए तथा मुआवजे की विसंगति को दूर कर किसानों को उनका वाजिब हक दिलाया जाए, ताकि किसानों की निराशा की भावना व्याप्त हो।
श्री GVL Narasimha Rao.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. My special mention is about the need for construction of covered storage space for bulk cargo at Visakhapatnam port. So, pollution caused by emission of fugitive dust from coking coal, steam coal, and other operations at the Visakhapatnam port poses a health hazard. So, this port handles over 70 million tons of cargo and handles bulk cargo consisting of coal, iron ore, pellets, etc., pet coke, pellets, etc. So the habitation around the Visakhapatnam port has grown exponentially since the inauguration of the port several decades ago. Infrastructure needs to be created to handle bulk cargo with covered storage to minimize emission of fugitive dust. So construction of sheds is an expensive proposition and cannot be taken up by private berth operators. The proposed investment is high and the recovery period is very long. Therefore, I propose that the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways make this investment under Sagarmala project and recoup investment by collecting user charges from the users to recover the capital investments made. Sir, a time-bound action plan needs to be initiated to bring all coking coal, steam coal operations under covered sheds to arrest the emission of fugitive dust. Sir, Visakhapatnam Port Authority has already commenced construction of 2 sheds and plans have been made to construct 2 more. However, there is an urgent need to construct huge, large capacity, state-of-the-art, well-equipped sheds with stacker reclaimers or wagon loading systems in the interest of public health and sustainability of port operations. Sir, I request the central government to urgently look into this issue and sanction provision of large, well-equipped covered sheds in the immediate future. Thank you, sir.
Shri Sushil Kumar Modi.
Sir, my subject is protocols for national song Vande Mataram in public offices. Sir, our national anthem Jana Gan Man and national song Vande Mataram both have their sanctity and command equal respect and honor from Indian citizens. Moreover, the former marks the beginning of a parliamentary session. The latter closes the curtains on it. In the case of the national anthem, there are detailed protocols and instructions about the correct version of the anthem, the occasions on which these are to be played or sung, and about the need for paying respect to the anthem by observance of proper decorum on such occasions that are clearly delineated by government orders. Further, the Prevention of Insults to National Honor Act 1971 has established penal provisions against the actions of preventing of singing of the national anthem and causing disturbances to any assembly engaged in such singing. However, there are no such protocols put in place for Vande Mataram and its singing in eminent public offices. To this effect, I urge the government to consider establishing rules and protocols for the conduct of the national song in public offices, since both the national anthem and the national song are placed on the same pedestal, and Vande Mataram also occupies a unique place in the emotions and psyche of Indians. Thank you, sir.
Shri M. Shanmugam, not present. Shri Mujibullah Khan, not present. Shri Sanjeev Arora, Shri Ajay Pratap Singh,
माननीय सभापति महोदय, विशेष उल्लेख के माध्यम से यद्यपि मैं अपने गृह जिले में स्थित टाइगर रिजर्व के आवासियों के समस्या की चर्चा कर रहा हूं, लेकिन मेरा मानना है कि ये समस्या पूरे देश के टाइगर रिजर्व के निवासियों की है। महोदय, संजय गांधी नेशनल टाइगर रिजर्व जिला सीधी मध्य प्रदेश के अंतर्गत लगभग 35 गांव स्थित हैं। इन गांवों में निवास करने वाले निवासी अनेक कठिनाई का सामना कर रहे हैं। संजय गांधी टाइगर रिजर्व में स्थित होने के कारण इन गांवों में कोई भी विकास कार्य संपादित नहीं हो रहे हैं। गरीबों के लिए आवश्यक जल जीवन मिशन, प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना, विद्युतीकरण के लिए सौभाग्य योजना, प्रधानमंत्री सड़क योजना सहित सारी योजनाओं से यहाँ के रहवासियों को वंचित रखा गया है। इन रहवासियों के विस्थापन एवं पुनर्वास हेतु मात्र सरकार द्वारा प्रति वयस्क व्यक्ति 15 लाख रुपए दिए जाते हैं, जो कि अत्यंत अल्प राशि है। इससे इन गरीबों की आजीविका का आधार नहीं बनाया जा सकता और ना ही आवास बनाया जा सकता है। इनका विस्थापन भी छोटे छोटे समूह में किया जाता है, जिससे इनका सामुदायिक जीवन नष्ट होता है। इनके रक्त संबंध एवं संस्कृति भी प्रभावित होती है। अतः सरकार से मांग है कि इनके विस्थापन एवं पुनर्वास के लिए निर्धारित राशि बढ़ाकर रुपए 30 लाख प्रति वयस्क व्यक्ति की जाए। इनका एक मुश्त कम से कम एक गांव का विस्थापन एक साथ किया जाए, जिससे इनका सामूहिक जीवन न नष्ट हो। जब तक विस्थापन न हो, इन्हें सरकार द्वारा लागू सभी योजनाओं का लाभ मिले व जीवन के लिए आवश्यक विकास कार्य किए जाएं। इनके पुनर्वास हेतु भी सरकार की पुनर्वास नीति के तहत आवश्यक भूमि, मकान बनाने हेतु सहायता राशि, नवीन बसाहट में सड़क, बिजली, पानी, स्कूल, आंगनबाड़ी इत्यादि की समस्त सुविधाएं उपलब्ध कराई जाएं। धन्यवाद।
Honorable members, the House stands adjourned to meet at 1100 hours on Monday, the 12th December 2022.